Hello, welcome to my channel today. This is King's Tutor. Okay, today we want to see some likely questions in mathematics that you might be seeing. Okay, some likely topics. We have done this over time, and I bet you, if you follow what we're about to do, definitely you will come out a success. We're going to see on different NECO past questions. Okay, different NECO past questions. Now, the first one we're going to see questions as regards the topic you're going to look at, or you should look at, that you may likely see in your exam is equation. Now, we're going to solve some of the questions regarding the topics. The first one is equation. Okay, now we're going to see equation. Equation is a topic you should look at. Go through it, because you must see question regarding equation. So let's solve some of this equation. The first one is this one we're going to solve now. Is one of this question is last year question 2021. So please ensure you go through what I've said. So this one said, solve the equation 8x equal 32. Okay, 8x equal 32. This is an aspect of index equation. Okay, now to solve this, you just ensure you make this to be in terms of their index notation. For instance, 8x equal 32. To solve this, it means we have to solve for x. So 8 is same thing as 2 raised to the power 3. So I have 2 raised to the power 3x, because 2 raised to the power 3 will give us 8, equal 32 is same thing as 2 raised to the power 5. Okay, because 2 times 2 up to 5 will give us 32. So in this now, you say equating indices. Okay, that's equating indices. So we'll have 3x equal 5 remaining. That's their index now. And to get x, you divide both sides by 3. My x is now equal to 5 over 3. So that is this. Okay, we'll solve for this first one. Another equation problem that is here. What I'm trying to do is to show you some of the equation related problem that was set in some of the questions. So equation is a topic you should look out for. So if you have not ironed it out, ensure you iron it out. I've done videos on equation. You can check in my playlist. Okay, I will drop it there in my description, so you watch that. So another question on equation is, they said, find the equation whose roots are 2 over 3 and 3 over 4. So we should find the equation whose roots are 2 over 3 and 3 over 4. Now, to solve equation given roots, we have done that before. Please check in my description to see a full video on that. Find an equation whose roots are 2 over 3 and 3 over 4. So to get the equation given roots, we have a formula for it. It is x squared minus sum of roots x plus the product of the roots, or equals 0. So if you use this formula, x squared minus the sum of the roots x plus product of the roots equals 0, it will give you the answer, the equation that have this root. So if we proceed, we'll have x squared minus, now sum means addition. So these are the roots. We'll have 2 over 3 plus 3 over 4, or x, plus product means multiplication, as 2 over 3 times 3 over 4 equal 0. Okay, so if we have x squared minus, now this, now we can collect the LCM. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. X plus 2 times 3 is 6 over 3 times 4 is 12, all equals 0. So we have x squared minus 8 plus 9 will give us 17 over 12. 8 plus 9 will give us 17 over 12x plus 6 over 12, all equals 0. So we have x squared minus 17 over 12x plus 6 over 12, all equal 0. So we may either leave like this, or in order to eliminate this fraction, you can now say multiply through by 12. So we multiply through by 12 so that we can eliminate this fraction. So it will now be 12 times x squared minus 17 over 12x times 12 plus 6 over 12 times 12, all equal 0. So 12 times x squared will give us 12x squared minus, this cancels this, minus 17x plus this cancels this, 6, all equals 0. So this is the equation that has this root. Okay, so let's check another one. Okay, so another equation question in the same now, like I said, this is for last year question. Okay, now let's see 2020 question also is for 2020. Let's see if there's an equation. Okay, so we have another question here. This is another question for 2020. It said solve the equation x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So what I'm doing actually is showing you the topic that is of importance that you should look out for. So they say we solve this using factorization method. We have 3 basic methods. We looked at factorization, completing the square, general formula, and the graphical method. Please check in my description. You'll see a full video on that. Watch that. Very important. So they say using this particular method of factorization. So it means we have to factorize this. Okay. Now, by factorizing this now, we have to, I gave steps on how to use this. The first step is to multiply this by the last. Okay, so if we do that, multiplying this by the last, we'll have x squared times minus 28. We have minus 28x squared. And you bring down the middle. So we now have this. Now, what you have to do, you look for 2 numbers such that when you multiply them, it will give you minus 28x squared. And when you add them, it will give you 3x. And those 2 numbers must be factors of 28. So if we look for the 2 numbers, we can use 7x and minus 4x. So 7x and minus 4x, when you multiply them, it will give you minus 28. And when you add them together, it will give you positive 3x. So these 2 numbers is what will replace 3x now. So we are writing this x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So these 2 numbers now will replace this. Okay, so it will now be x squared plus 7x minus 4x minus 28 equals 0. So from this now, we have to group them in 2s. X squared plus 7x minus 4x minus 28 equal 0. So from this now, what is common between them? What do they have in common? X. Open a bracket. X squared divided by x, you're left with x, plus 7x divided by x, you're left with 7. Okay, minus. Now, what is common between 4x and 28 is 4 minus 4. So 4x divided by 4, you're left with what? X. Now minus 28 divided by minus 4, you're left with what? Plus 7 equals 0. Now, when I was treating this introduction video, I said when you get to this point, these two must be the same in sign and in value. Okay, so we'll take 1, x plus 7. You subtract, you bring this x here, minus 4 equal 0. So we now have x plus 7 equals 0, or x minus 4 equals 0. So to get x now, move this to the other side. It now x equal 0 minus 7, or x equal 0. This crossing over turns to plus 4. So my x is now equal to 0 minus 7 is minus 7, or x equals 0 plus 4 is 4. So x equal minus 7 or 4. So that's the value for x. Okay, so we have another equation question in that same 2020. Look at it here. So it says solve for x, 8x over 9 minus 3x over 2 equal 5 over 6 minus x. Okay, so from this now, now the first thing we have to do is to ensure we put them under one denominator. Okay, we'll take LCM. So the LCM of 9 and 2 is 18. Okay, 18 divided by 9 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16x. Minus 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27x. Equal the same thing. LCM of 6 and 1 will give us 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. But minus 6 divided by 1 is 6. 6 times x is 6x. Okay, so from this now, 16x minus 27x. We'll have 16 minus 27 will give us minus 11x over 18 equal 5 minus 6x over 6. Okay, now from this now, I cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, we will now have minus 11x times 6 equal 18 into bracket 5 minus 6x. Okay, minus 11x times 6 will give us minus 66x equal 18 times 5. 18 times 5 is 90 minus 18 times 6 is 108x. Okay, so we have to collect like terms. We have x here, we have x here. Move this to the other side. So it's minus 66x. Crossing over turns to plus 108x equal 90. So 108 minus 66 will give us 42x equal 90. Now to get x, we divide both sides by 42. So this cancels this. My x is now 90 divided by 42. That's x equal 2.1 approximately. Okay, so that is our value for x. Okay, so equation is a question to look out for. So ensure you sharpen your skill on what? Equation. Okay, ensure you sharpen your skill on equation. So that's a question to look out for. Now another question to look out for, among other things you've read and studied, is a sequence and series. Okay, the sequence and series. The sequence and series, we have done video on that. I'll drop it. Sequence and series, we have done video on that. Let's see some questions on sequence and series. Okay, that may likely come out. Sequence and series on that question. It has sequence and series here. Okay, so this question said the 9th and 12th term of an AP are 50 and 65 respectively. Find the sum of its first 70 terms. Okay, now to solve this, we must know the formula for the sequence and series. Okay, so they said the 9th and 12th term of an AP. So before that, we recall the formula for sequence and series as term n equal a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, so where now they said the 9th and 12th term of an AP are 50 and 65 respectively. So it said when n equals 9, so it said the 9th term is 50, so it will not be term 9 equal a is not given plus n, our n is 9 minus 1, d is unknown, and they say this 9th term is what? 50. So we have 50. Okay, so if we solve that, is a plus n minus 1 is 8. 8 times d is 8d equal 50. So we can call this equation 1. Now also, they said the 12th term of an AP is what? 65. So we said also when n equal 12. So we have term 12 equal a plus 12 minus 1d. And they said this 12th term is what? 65. So if we solve that, we have a plus 12 minus 1 is 11 times d is 11d equals 65. We can call this equation 2. So we can solve these two equations simultaneously so that we can get the item that will be needed to solve to find the sum of the first 70 terms. Okay, so if we do that now, solving the two simultaneously, we will now have a plus 8d equal 50 as equation 1 and a plus 11d equals 65 as equation 2. Okay, so from this now, we have to subtract since the coefficient of a are the same. So we can say subtract equation 2 from 1. 2 from 1. So it is now 8d. So it is a minus a plus 8d minus 11d equal 50 minus 65. So a minus a cancelled itself. So I have 8d minus 11d to give us 3d equal 50 minus 65. So I have 50 minus 65 will give us minus 15. Okay, this is minus 3d. So from here now, to get our d with this common difference, we divide both sides by minus 3. So if this cancels this, my d is equal to 5. Okay, so d is equal to 5. Now from here now since our d is equal to 5, so we substitute d equal 5 into any of the equation. So I have substitute d equal 5 into equation 1. So equation 1 is a plus 8d equal 50. So substitute d as 5. So we have a plus 8 and d is 5 equal 50. I have 8 plus 8 times 5 is what? 8 times 5 is 40 equals 50. So make A the subject of the formula. So we have our A is now equal to 50. Now this move to the other side, minus 40. So A equals 50 minus 40 is what? 10. So we have the A as the first term, as 10, D as 5. So the question they now asked, they said, find the sum of its first 70th term. So the sum of n term formula is also different. I have to write it. It is Sn equal n over 2a plus n minus 1 d. So we'll have the sum of the first 70 term. So said when our n is 70, our a, we have looked for it, it is 10, and our d, we have also looked for it, is 5. So we now have x 70 is equal to n is 70 over 2, our a is 10, plus our n is 70 minus 1, and our d is 5. Okay, so we have 70 divided by 2 give us 35. Now 2 times 10 is 20, plus 70 minus 1 is 69 times 5. So I have 69 times 5 is 345. Okay, so we now have 20 plus 345. 345 plus 20, we have 365. 365 times 35. So it will give us 12775. So that's the sum of the first 70 term. Okay, so the answer for the sum of the first 70 term is 12,775. Okay, so that's one of the questions of the sequence and series. Also, in another question, this is also last year. Another question last year, we also have that of the sequence and series. Okay, which is the AP and the GP. So it said if the second term of a geometric progression is 6 and the fourth term is 54, find the first term and the fifth term. So we can see that geometric progression is a must question that you have to sequence and series, a must question you have to look out for. Okay, so in this now, so we said if the second term of a GP is 6, so first we have to know the formula for GP. So the GP formula, recall, now it is Tn equal AR into n minus 1. Okay, so it said if the second term of a GP is 6, so it said when n equal 2, so substitute. So have them 2 equal, A is not given, R is the common ratio not given. So I said 2 minus 1 equal, I said the second term of GP is 6, that is 6. So now I have AR, 2 minus 1 is 1. So AR equals 6. You can call this equation 1. And they say the fourth term is 54. So said when n equal 4. So the same thing, our T4 is equal to AR, n is 4 minus 1 equal, let's say 54. 54. So I have AR, 4 minus 1 is 3, equal 54 as equation 2. So we are going to solve these two simultaneously. Okay, so it will now be AR equals 6 and AR raised by 3 equal 54. Okay, so in this now, and since it's GP, to eliminate we have to what? Divide is equation 1 and is equation 2. So said divide equation 2 by 1. 2 by 1. So it will now be A raised by 3 divided by R equals 54 divided by 6. So this cancels this. So R raised by 3 divided by R raised by 1. So this same thing as R raised by 3 divided by R equal, now 54 divided by 6 will give us from our calculator, 54 divided by 6 will give us 9. So we have R. Now in laws of indices, if we have the same base and it is division, we take one of the base and subtract their power. So it will have 3 minus 1. So my R is 9. 3 minus 1 is what? 2 equal 9. Now to get our R, which is the common ratio, which is one of the things they ask us. Okay, they say the first and the fifth term. So to get the common ratio, we have to express this in terms of 2. So R square will be given is equal to 9 is same thing as 3 raised to power 2, or you take the square root of both sides. So by doing this now, if we multiply both sides by 1 over 2, multiply both sides by 1 over 2, it will eliminate this. Or we take square root both sides, even while it is still 9. Okay, it's still the same thing. So you square root both sides, this cancel this. Square root of 9 is what? 3. So our R is equal to what? 3. Okay, so that is the common ratio now. Okay, the first question said find the first term and the fifth term. Okay, so the first term is A. So the first term. Now to get the first term, substitute this value into any of the equation. So substitute into equation 1, AR equals 6 is equation 1. So we have R is 3 equals 6. So A times 3 is 3A equals 6. We have to get our A, with the Bible side by 3. So if this cancels this, my A is equal to 6 divided by 3 is what? 2. So the first term is what? 2. Okay. Now then I said the fifth term. That is when our N is 5. Okay. So if N is 5, so said when N equals 5. So the formula Tn equals AR raised by N minus 1. So it is then 5 equal, our A is 2 times our R is what? 3. And our N is 5 minus 1. Okay. So it is 2 times 3. 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is what? 4. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So we now have 2 times, now 3 raised to power 4. We have 3 raised to power 4 will give us 81. Okay. So 81 times 2 is equal to 162. So the value of the fifth term is what? 162. Okay. So the value of the sixth term is 162. So this the sequence and series you should also look out for. Okay, it's very, very important. Now another aspect you should look out for is the statistics, that mean the median, the mode. It's a must also. It's a must. I'm gonna do a video on that. This is a part 1. I don't want this video to be much longer, so this is a part 1. So if you can see here, you see the statistic. Okay, so I'm gonna do a video on that. Please ensure you have liked this video. We're gonna be giving you updates. Okay, so ensure you subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.